Over dinner the night before, we got so caught up talking about the redwoods that we tossed the original plan out the window. Instead of heading directly inland over the mountains, we decided to kick off the day with another dose of tree therapy. A wonderful drive down the Avenue of the Giants, California's legendary redwood-lined scenic masterpiece. The Avenue of Giants kicks off at its northern end in Pepperwood after leaving US 101, where you're immediately swallowed by a dim, cathedral-like redwood forest. From there the skinny two-lane road twists south, hemmed in by colossal trunks looming high above. Every few miles the trees reluctantly part to reveal tiny hamlets tucked among the giants, Redcrest being the next little blip of civilization on the drive. The forest floor was so deeply shaded that, even with morning sunlight cutting in laterally from the riverside, our cameras were throwing tantrums over focus and stability. The Miata clearly agreed it felt like nighttime too. Its headlights flicked on automatically and stayed on for most of the drive. Scattered among the dozen or so redwood groves are little campgrounds that flashed by as we rolled past. Thanks to our early start, the campers were still in the middle of their morning routines, so the road felt almost entirely ours. Almost. About halfway down the avenue we spotted the perfect pullout, eased the Miata off the pavement, and grabbed some photos with the redwoods as a gorgeous backdrop. The road wasn't completely deserted, but the handful of drivers we did encounter were pure gold. Every single one pulled over to the shoulder and waved us past like we were royalty in a tiny Miata parade. Well, maybe not quite that, but we absolutely appreciated the courtesy and got to really enjoy the road. Toward the southern end of the avenue, we pulled over at the Shrine drive-through tree near Myers Flat. We skipped threading the Miatas through it and just got out to walk the hollowed-out tunnel instead. It had been nearly 20 years since I last cruised the Avenue of the Giants, and slipping back onto that magical ribbon of road felt every bit as incredible the second time around. What an absolute thrill. After soaking up every last redwood moment on the Avenue of the Giants, we looped back north on Highway 101 and slipped back into the original itinerary, turning east onto Highway 36. For a time it still felt like the avenue never ended. Scattered pockets of redwoods kept the magic going past Carlotta. But then the road shrugged off the Giants and began its steady climb into the hills. The wonderfully nutty thing was that this was a 55-mile-per-hour highway. Oh my, what fun. Except for the construction, stupid landslides. Eventually the construction ended and the slow-moving parade of cars peeled away onto side roads. That's when the real party started. Highway 36 grew delightfully twisty as it wound upward into the Chalk Mountains, a rugged slice of the greater Klamath Range. The forest shifted too, still thick, but now a blend of redwoods and towering Douglas firs that, impressive as they were, had clearly accepted they'd never win the height contest against the coastal giants we'd left behind. About 45 miles in from the coast, Highway 36 crested a modest ridge and swapped watersheds. Goodbye Van Dusen River Valley, hello Mad River. The scenery did a quick costume change. The forest thinned out, the hills opened up, and suddenly we were rolling past sun-bleached golden grass, scattered clumps of scrubby oaks, and conifers that looked like they'd finally agreed to give the sky a little breathing room. The road never let up on the curves, dipping down one valley sidewall, popping over another ridge, then sneaking behind the next spine so Ruth Lake could play hide and seek far below. The weather improved, warming even more, and the thin coastal clouds above opened up to patches of wonderful blue skies. Everything up to this point had already been mind-blowingly good, but as we shot past Tiny Forest Glen and thundered alongside Rattlesnake Creek, the road basically stood up and yelled, "Hold my beer." What came next was pure automotive nirvana, an absolute riot of hairpin-laced, roller coaster insanity carved into the steep, wild north face of Dubakella Mountain. Seatbelts tightened, grins widened. This was the real showstopper we'd been chasing all day. And the best part? The lead car pulled away like a man possessed, disappearing around bend after bend with enthusiastic gusto. But we managed to catch up with an assist from Mr. Obstacle. This was the first moving obstacle we'd seen in forever. No worries though, the guy was clearly a saint in disguise. The second a turnout appeared, he flicked on his blinker and waved us past with a grin. And just like that, the road was ours again. Dear Lord, these curves, this road, pure, unfiltered bliss. We pushed far enough east that the terrain shifted once more. The mountain's rain shadow had dried things out noticeably. The land was still green, but the plants had taken on that tough scrubby look you see in arid places. We'd come all this way chasing a promising side road, only to find it was a total letdown. Cracked, potholed pavement that rattled the teeth, 2 narrow lanes, gravel and debris on the road surface. It was simply a point of frustration to try and drive it. With nothing worth seeing, we shrugged, turned the cars around, and headed back the way we came. Oh no. Guess we'll just have to suffer through those glorious twisty roads all over again. By the time we turned off Highway 36 and headed north to Hayfork, the NC was running on fumes. I can only imagine the heightened anxiety as he was hoping to make it into town for fuel. The rest of us were enjoying the pleasant rambling drive along the Salt Creek Valley. The relaxed flowing pace, a nice break from the intensity of Highway 36. Rusty old barns, bushy pine trees, leafy oaks and scraggly barbed wire fencing flanked the road as it followed a gradually widening valley into Hayfork. Holy hell, look at this. Fuel tanks brimming, Hayfork shrinking to a speck behind us. The asphalt instantly tied itself into knots again, flinging us along knife-edge ridges high above deep mountain valleys. Pure, unadulterated driving nirvana. We finally rolled into Weaverville at 3 p.m. for a seriously overdue lunch. After a morning of postage stamp towns, the place felt almost metropolitan. Once fed, we fired up the Miatas again and the road turned into magic, a long, liquid ribbon of perfect sweepers hugging the shores of Trinity Lake, carrying us north toward the wide, wild delta where the Trinity River spills into the reservoir. At the Trinity River Delta, we drove past rows of gravel and rock piles, the remnants of 50 years of gold dredging operations that started in the late 1880s. And then came the climb over Scott Mountain, an absolute standout. Imagine the relentless rhythm of Highway 36, but with far steeper elevation. The road attacked the slope with tight, aggressive hairpins. Some corners lift you 10, even 20 feet in a single turn. The switchbacks arrive one after another without mercy, demanding full focus and perfect lines as the three Miatas surged upward. Turn followed turn in quick succession, the valley dropping away beneath us until we crested the pass. At the summit we crossed the Pacific Crest Trail, and then, as if someone flipped a toggle to chill mode, the road did a complete personality swap. One moment we're wrestling curves and hairpins, the next the mountain shrugs, kicks its feet up, and hands us the smoothest, scenic sweepers. Sun-dappled views of the valley start winking through the trees and we plummet 2,200 feet toward the valley floor. We rolled into Callahan, a sleepy little former gold rush town that once served as a pit stop for dusty prospectors. A century and change later, the boomtown glamour has mostly packed up and left, leaving behind a handful of weathered historic buildings and the wonderfully named Callahan Emporium, part saloon, part traveler's store. We piled out, grabbed cold drinks and ice cream, then sprawled in the late afternoon shade of the Emporium, letting the day's heat melt off us. As the early evening light took on a golden hue, we crested a pass into pure Miata heaven, a ridiculous, giggling playground of switchbacks tumbling down into Willow Creek Basin. We lost all sense of time and for a solid hour and a half we turned into children, filming runs, zipping down the mountain, turning around at the bottom and then screaming back up just to do it again. In all that glorious driving we saw exactly 2 other cars the entire time. We basically had the place to ourselves. Eventually, it was time to act like grown-ups and point the Miatas toward Yreka for the night. It was a relaxed cruise out of the mountains and across ranch and pasture lands into Shasta Valley. Suddenly the land opened up and Mount Shasta came into view. A breathtaking sight of the mountain in the very last rays of the sun setting over the Klamath Mountains behind us. Just stunning. We couldn't help it and just had to stop for an impromptu photo op on the side of the road. What an incredible, literally, picture-perfect end to another fantastic day.